A hologram of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky,
Ladies and gentlemen,
cute dogs in the battlefield, and destroyed Russian tanks put on public display. Ukraine has been able to galvanize domestic and global support with propaganda tailor-made to go viral.
It's managing to make its case that it's the underdog, operating a defensive stance against a bullying aggressor.
Here's what a 21st century PR campaign looks like during a war and how raising global awareness has helped Ukraine secure funds and weapons to fight off Russia's invasion. From the early days of war, Zelensky has been busy addressing global leaders, becoming the face of the country's resistance. In the span of about 3 months, he virtually attended about 40 events.
The end of this war and its circumstances depend on the world's attention.
He is the leader of his people in a kind of David versus Goliath situation.
Paul Baines has been monitoring Kyiv's propaganda tactics throughout the conflict. He says getting Ukraine's most well-known figure in front of the world's most influential people at high-profile events is an effective way to keep the public interested.
He's well aware that this is a long haul. Over time, when it's no longer newsworthy, Western governments might forget about them. His communications are designed to ensure that doesn't happen.
One consistent message in many of Zelensky's speeches has been the call for more weapons.
Нам потрібна потужна наступальна зброя, без якої війна лише.
Систем протиракетної оборони, тощо протиракетна зброя.
And by mid-June, the U.S. had supplied more than $5 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine, on top of other military support from Western allies.
You're my hero.
Zelensky has also been tapping the power of celebrities. For example, in early May, he invited pop rock band U2 frontman Bono and guitarist The Edge to visit Ukraine.
If he calls, we come.
They performed in a subway station-turned-bunker with a soldier who fronts one of Ukraine's biggest pop rock bands.
Thank you, Bono, and you, The Edge, to come here.
These sorts of invites and meetings have also coincided with Zelensky's efforts to raise financial aid. The same week as Bono's visit, the government launched a website that would be the country's main venue for donations, raising more than $136 million by early July. One key part of Ukraine's 21st century propaganda toolkit is social media. To resonate with the younger generation, Ukraine's official Twitter account has been covering the latest from the war through art to boost morale of those living in Russian-occupied cities, as well as hashtags and memes about weapons. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also posted content of animals in the battlefield to soften the image of the military. One of its most popular mascots is Padron, the demining dog that received a military medal from Zelensky. It appeared on the Canadian Prime Minister's Twitter feed, and the dog's own TikTok account had nearly 3 million likes by early July.
If it's got a dog or a cat in it, it's much more likely to go viral. But linked to this cuteness, of course, is the message that we're picking up these weapons. We have the ability to demine our country. And so it's another symbol of resistance.
Zelensky's Instagram has also been featuring ads like this. It shows a montage of people at a gas station. The video goes on to say that EU countries that continue to import Russian energy are funding Moscow's war efforts and killing Ukrainians. This post was viewed more than 4 million times since early April. It's one part of Ukraine's ongoing efforts to isolate Russia economically, and in May, less than 2 months after that video was released, the European Union pledged to ban 90% of Russian oil imports by year-end. Many of the videos released by Ukraine are heavily produced, like this one using color filters.
А тільки синьо-жовта мрія.
They have an increasingly well-developed film industry. If you got the quality of the production of film released through social media, then it's much more likely to resonate with the people that it's aimed at.
To keep up its resistance against Russia, the Ukrainian government has also been galvanizing domestic morale. So it's been turning some incidents into propaganda opportunities. For instance, releasing stamps showing the sinking of a Russian warship.
It's a very clear illustration of a nation's kind of authority, really. So what he's saying to the people is, we are still in control. We're beating the Russians.
One way to show that Ukraine is putting up a fight against Russians is to display their destroyed military vehicles in public, or at a museum where visitors can take a closer look at war paraphernalia like uniforms worn by Russian soldiers.
Це дуже гарна ідея, і кожен має прийти і подивитися.
The Ukrainian government told the Wall Street Journal it will continue to seize every opportunity and use creative methods to keep the world talking about the war as long as it rages on. Ukraine, as well as Russia, have not slowed down their push for support at home and abroad.
The difference is that Ukraine has the support of the West and Russia doesn't. Therefore, Russia's only really able to use its propaganda against its own people.
And unlike much of the world, many of those inside Russia remain out of reach for Ukraine's ongoing PR campaign.